The Symphony of Joy on the construction site. Introduction. Finding joy in reinforced concrete. One thinks of construction as the images that
Yeah, I ride dirt bikes.
hidden beneath that rough, coarse exterior lies a world of vibrant joy. A symphony of it is a joy that can be touched and seen with all the senses. Joy as genuine, rustic, and enduring as the very structures of humans. This essay is not a construction trend. Instead, it is a journey of exploration, an effort to turn the less green pages of a familiar story,
Tecnologia!
find and celebrate the joyful moments, the noble spiritual values which one's labor is helping to build lasting values for the community. This is not it is the story of talented hands, creative minds, that have come together as one, transforming these construction sites into a stage for the joy of living. Let us step into that world together. Does not begin with the sound of a drill or the first swing. It originates much earlier on the architect's drafting table. To the uninitiated, a technical blueprint may seem like a chaotic lines, numbers, and incomprehensible symbols. But to those
Tecnologia!
it is a dream waiting to be awakened. 1.1. From idea to a window frame that will welcome the morning sun, or a balcony where a family imagination. When the engineer and project manager receive the they don't just see light. Walk through a house that doesn't exist, sensing the space, light, and the air flow. It is a silent, incredibly exciting dialogue. They discuss every small detail. This corner should be rounded slightly to create a softer feel. The window here should be widened to capture the view perfectly. The electrical system should be laid out like this to optimize convenience and safety. Each discussion, each adjustment is not an argument, but a shared step towards a more perfect version of the dream. The completed blueprint is handed over to construction. It becomes something more than a dream. The joy of the master craftsman and the workers as they first unveil it carries with it a sense of excitement and a hint of challenge. They see their work laid out for the coming months or coming years. The ironworkers the cleaning worker sees the clean, pristine final product that she will help create in the final stage. Creates work. The somewhat chaotic space of the construction site. It brings confidence. Instead of working by guesswork, everyone knows their exact role and task within the market. This joy comes from clarity. One's work. They are not just following. Bricks, mortar, steel, and concrete in the real world. And every time a part of the structure is completed exactly as shown on the blueprint, it is a confirmation. Note of the grand symphony. This is the moment when the idea begins its journey to become reality. Always carries a special cosmic energy. Sand and earth is not just a formality, it is deeply symbolic.
Oh my god.
We will transform this piece of land into a valuable structure. The rustling sound of sand all become meaningful. Architects and
shit. Oh shit. Wait. Wait, how do I stop? Oh shit!
bulldozer engines is not a bothersome noise, but the voice of power and readiness. Carving out the foundational principles. For the workers, this sound is a familiar and exciting melody. It signals that the work has truly begun. They put on their protective gear, don their hard hats of various colors, turning the site into a living canvas of labor. In just a few days. This is the joy of action, of turning potential energy into are performing the heaviest tasks, paving the way for more delicate work.
Yeah.
Братан, волонтеры новый рэп подогнали. Смотри, как крушит, прям на ходу, смотри.
Energetic opening dance on the site. Every engine roar, every squeaker is a note of the melody of the melody that promises a great The building is never the product of a single individual. It is a collective of parts. Different specializations. The construction site thus becomes a giant contributing to a harmonious symphony. 3.1. The amidst the noise of machinery, words sometimes become unnecessary. Experienced construction workers have developed their own language, a language of nods, hand gestures, and knowing glances. The person below the person above only needs a glance to know where to receive it and carry it. Light talent is a signal to tighten the work flows perfectly. Or watch a master mason teaching a young apprentice how to mix water. He doesn't say much. The ratio of cement, sand, and water is when the mortar mix is just right, it's worth more than any
Технология! Технология!
respect among trades. On a construction site, teams and the masonry team, the electrical and plumbing team, the painting team. The idea of collaboration also comes from mutual respect among these different trades. The electrician, when running wires, will be careful not to affect the structure just
Технология! Технология!
wait for the plaster band to be dry complete. Their precision will determine the straightness and beauty of the concrete wall layout. Let us know what you've done so our skills can get to work.
Технология! Технология! Технология!
Because they understand that the quality of one person's work directly affects the micro-society. Every individual has value and is respected. Creating an egalitarian work environment where the common good is paramount. The feeling of process. 3.3. The silent leader. For this the supervising engineers, the site their joy is a comprehensive one. They are happy when they see the foundation. 4.1. A product the most familiar is perhaps that of the workers huddled around a pot of strong tea, hastily brewed in an old aluminum can. In the shade of a newly built wall,
Technologia!
sitting on stacks of bricks, they share stories from their everyday lives. A football match from the night before. Bursts of hearty laughter ring out. In these moments, the distance between master craftsman and apprentice, between old and young, disappears. All that remains is human connection, rustic and sincere. The joy here is the joy of sharing. They share not just tea and secrets, but also their thoughts and worries. Construction site is not just a workplace. It is a second family. Comparing questions like, "You look tired today, okay?" More bearable, because they know they are not alone. But it is the best meal of the day. They spread out the and sit together in a circle. Where everyone spontaneously offers food to one another. My wife's braised fish is delicious today. Try a piece. My family made spring rolls yesterday. Have a few. I'm hungry. Have some of my favorite vegetables. Turn a humble meal into a feast of fellowship. They eat and hum of machinery. This joy comes from community, from the feeling of belonging to a group. A meal is not just for the stomach, it's to nourish the spirit. This sharing reveals a beautiful aspect of the workers' culture. Despite life's hardships, they are still it is these collective lunch breaks that weave the strong threads of affection, turning strangers and colleagues into close friends and brothers. 4.1. After lunch, a dozen minutes of napping. Their resting place is a wooden plank inside a large uninstalled concrete plant, simply leaning their head against a back. Makeshift. Steady snoring. In the midst of the hustle, in that short sleep, they temporarily forget the sun. Wake up, though perhaps still a bit groggy, their spirits are much refreshed. The joy here is the joy of the economy. It shows the incredible adaptability of human beings. No matter the circumstances,
Technologia! Technologia!
they work with renewed energy. These rests, though continue playing strongly and persistently. Chapter 5. Skill and material. If the joy of collaboration comes from relationships between people, there is another, more personal joy that comes from
Хорошо идем.
their craft. It is the joy of
One step.
mastery, of commanding skills and
Сильно?
materials, of
Ну, ничего.
transforming raw elements into perfect products. His movements are as rhythmic as his heart. He squints, sighting along the taut guide string. Every is straight. For him, building a wall is not is a masterpiece. It is a testament to his patience, his meticulousness, and the experience accumulated over decades. This shows pursuing precision down to the millimeter. It is the flow state when the worker is completely immersed in his task, between tracking time and his surroundings. There is only him, the brick, and the desire to create the absolute strength.
20 bucks? No, too much money.
From the very essence
It's no good.
is material. Before starting, you will often stroke the surface of the wooden plank. Each type of wood has its own personality, and the master carpenter is one who understands that personality. With a door frame, a gracefully curving staircase. The sound of the plane gliding smoothly. The decisive sound of the chisel, creating
Salut, șeful! Am tot insistat să te sun că vreau să zic ceva. Poți să zic?
Not just about it is a successful dialogue between human and the soul. Who's done that? Walk the ironworker, hidden behind his protective mask, is performing his own he lays down beside him must have and without gas. Is the joy of conquest. He conquers the hardness of
Oh!
the act of turning cold inanimate skeleton brings a sense of power and pride. He knows that only iron bears a paint plastic frame made by his and that joy is as solid as the very thing he creates. 5.4. The work of electricians and plumbers is often hidden behind walls, but their joy is no less significant. It is the joy of bringing the electrician runs complex wiring like a spider's web. He calculates, connects, and ensures everything is absolutely safe and secure.
Estoy cansado, jefe. Cansado.
It's a symbol of life, of modern comfort. Everyone will often let out a cheer of delight. Installs pipes and valves. This joy comes when he turns on the main water and clean water flows in every faucet and works without a single leak. This is the joy of function, of bringing convenience and vitality to a space. Of the house. Though their work is not easily seen. Quiet. Chapter 6. Conquering challenges. Joy in hardship. Not always smooth sailing. It is fraught with challenges, from harsh weather and roadside problems. However, it is precisely in the process of facing and overcoming these difficulties the construction site is an open space, completely must constantly make dialogue with the sun, the wind, and the rain. On scorching summer days, joy is not absent. It is the joy of finding shade upon the rest. The sudden cold breeze that dries the sweat. It is the hearty laughter as they splash water on each other. They don't complain, they adapt. They will the perseverance to stay in the job under harsh weather brings a sense of pride in one's own but that is also when they show their flexibility. Covering materials and reinforcing areas vulnerable to the rain. And after a downpour, the rainbow appears in the distance. That scene, for those who have just endured the adversity, is a priceless gift, bringing a fresh and pure joy. Is on site. Reality does not always match. An unmapped underground pipe suddenly appears. A batch of materials is slightly different. This is when collective intelligence is brought to the forefront. What if we throughout the plumbing system to avoid the obstacle? This aha moment of smart and solution incredibly satisfying. It not only solves an immediate issue, but also they are inventors, true problem solvers. 6.3. project, there are always phases that are considered massive concrete slab in single, continuous operation, requiring the coordinated effort of dozens of people for many hours. It could be installing a complex steel structure at great heights, demanding absolute precision and safety. Everyone is highly focused, sweat pouring down. The teams coordinate like a well. Start tightening the problem. They are not just colleagues, they are comrades. 3.2. On a construction site, each team is an expert in its own field. The foundation team is steel has an irreplaceable role. The electrician, when running wires, will be careful not to affect the structure. From the masonry team to dry completely before starting his work.
No, 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 no.
Hey, masonry team, please leave a hole here for us to run the pipes.
Катастрофа!
Always met with willingness, because they understand that the quality for their skills. It erases distinctions. Creates a tremendous collective strength, turning seemingly separate tasks. 3.3. The silent conductor. For this orchestra to perform perfectly.
150.
The supervising engineers. The
Человек тяни.
they don't directly wield a trowel or a hammer.
Лёг,
Once
лёг.
they pick the sheet music and blueprint and coordinate the musicians and work teams. Their joy is a comprehensive
Technologia! Technologia!
foundation. They are happy when they see the steel structure erected sturdily. They are happy. Their joy is the joy of witnessing the gradually. They are the problem solvers, the connectors between when the weather is unfavorable, they are the ones the sight of a complex machine of hundreds of people operating smoothly, one's coordination brings immense watching their work play is most wonderful memories. In the midst of strenuous working hours, the short breaks are when joy reveals itself in its most genuine and long form. These are the necessary rests and the noisy symphony of the construction site. Time for everyone to recharge and strengthen their body. 4.1. The most familiar and beautiful image is perhaps that of the workers huddled around a pot of strong tea. Or simply sitting in stacks of bricks, they share about work. They talk about their children at home, the harvest season in their hometown, football match on the night before. One person shares a cigarette with the person next to them. The distance between master craftsman and apprentice, between old and young, disappears. All that remains is rustic and sincere. The joy here is the joy of sharing. They share not just tea and cigarettes, but also their thoughts and words. The construction site is not just a workplace, it is a second family. Simple, caring questions like these relationships make the hard work more bearable because they know they are not alone.
Impossible. Oh my God! Oh, thanks, thank you, thanks.
With everyone bringing a lunchbox from home, but it is the best meal of the day. They spread out an old tarp and sit together. The meal becomes a miniature buffet where everyone spontaneously offers food to one another. My family made spring rolls yesterday. Have some of my pickled eggplant. Well,
Я се Бога!
spontaneous offers
you okay?
But peaceful. After lunch comes a precious few wooden pipe inside a large uninstalled concrete pipe, or simply sitting right against the wall. It is peaceful. The steady snoring of a friend nearby. Through the infinite serene scene in the midst of the hustle. In that short sleep, they temporarily forget the sun, the wind, and the a much stretch. A big stretch of the smile, and they are ready for the afternoon. It shows the rest and relaxation, doing their work with renewed energy. These rests and irresistible. Chapter 5. The dance of skill and material. The joy of mastery. If the joy of collaboration. There is another, deeper, and more personal joy that comes from the relationship between a worker and a friend. It is the joy of mastery, of commanding skills and materials, of transforming raw elements into perfect art. What Shashi made music at rock. His movements are as rhythmic as a dance. Just the right amount of order, spreading it decisively on the row of drums. His right hand places the brake, using the handle of his trowel to sighting along the taut guide straight. Everything must be perfectly straight. For him, it lies in creating a perfectly flat surface, a joint of mortar. After finishing a section of wall, he steps back, admiring the testament to his patience, his meticulousness, and the experience. Millimeter. It is the flow state when the worker is completely immersed in the brick and the desire to create an absolute straight line. It is pure joy, derived from the very essence of work. A carpenter has a special connection. Before starting, he will often stroke the surface of a wooden plank, feeling its weight, smelling its characteristic fragrances. Each type of wood has its own personality, and a master carpenter is one who understands that personality. The joy comes from turning a rough, gnarled piece of wood into an exquisite door frame, gliding smoothly, creating thin, curled shavings. The decisive sound of the creating notices and tones that fit together perfectly without a single note. This is the joy of creation, of breathing life into material. He doesn't just work with wood, he converses with it.
3, 2, 1.
The Symphony of Joy. Introduction. Finding joy in reinforced concrete. When hidden beneath the rough, coarse exterior lies a world of vibrant joy. The symphony of it is a joy that can be touched, seen, and felt with all the senses. A joy as genuine as the difficulties of the construction trade. Instead, it is a journey of exploration to turn the lesser-read pages of familiar story, to find and celebrate the joyful moments, the noble spiritual values that sprout and blossom every day amidst scaffolding and mortar. Together, we will listen to the story of the joy of drawing into a warm home, the joy of seamless collaboration, the joy of conquering technical challenges, but above all, the joy of knowing that one's labor is It is a story about people. It is the story of talented hands, creative minds, is one, transforming music construction skills on stage for the joy of labor. Let us step into flowers of happiness. It originates much earlier, much quieter. joy is the joy of visualization, of imagination. Engineer and project. They don't just see dry figures. They see the soul. Space, the light, and how the air will flow. It is a Introduction, finding joy in reinforced conflict. When one thinks of
Okay, already.
dust or beads of sweat rolling down sunburned faces. Sounds of nothing. This perspective is not wrong. Interior lies a world of vibrant joy, a symphony of creativity, camaraderie, and quiet pride. It is a joy that can be touched, seen, and felt with all the senses. A joy as genuine, lusty, and enduring as the very structures it creates. This essay does not Instead, it is a journey of exploration, an effort to turn the lesser-read pages of a familiar story, to find and celebrate the joyful moments. Listen to the story of the joy of turning an inanimate drawing into a warm the joy of knowing that one's labor is helping to build lasting memories. Creative minds and enthusiastic hearts that have come together to be as one, transforming the heart of are always quiet. It originates much earlier in a much quieter place, and the architect's drafting may seem like a chaotic jumble of lines, numbers, and 1.1. From idea to form. Each line in the vision is more than just an instrument. It is the embodiment of the future world, a window frame that will welcome the morning sun, a balcony for family together or to leave. First joy is the joy of visualization, of imagination. When the engineer and project manager receive a set of blueprints, they see the soul of the structure. They can walk through a house that doesn't yet exist. The window here should be widened to capture this view perfectly. The electrical system. Each discussion, each adjustment is not an argument, but a shared solution towards a more perfect version of the future. The joy here is the joy of intellectual resonance, when multiple minds focus on a single. Point 2. The blueprint is the treasure. When the complete the joy of the master craftsman and the workers as they first unroll the large it carries with it a sense of excitement and a hint of a challenge. Every time you will make sees every row of walls you will plaster. The cleaning worker sees the clean, pristine product that you will help create in the
O ne lan emmi?
a clear objective in a somewhat chaotic space of the construction site. Everyone knows their exact role and task. This joy comes from turning the language of symbols and numbers. And every time a part of the structure is completed exactly as shown. If the blueprint is the dream, then the groundbreaking ceremony. This is a moment when the idea begins its journey to become reality. The atmosphere of the groundbreaking ceremony always carries a spirit. Scooping the first shovels of sand and earth is not just a formality. When the shovel blade takes into account. It's like commitment. The rustling sound of sand falling is accompanied from it. In that moment, and the workers, they feel the weight of responsibility, but are also filled with excitement. The empty plot of land before them is no longer an inanimate space. From this moment, it has become the project of all work. Like a farmer sowing the first seeds in the land of faith and hope for a successful harvest in the future.
Is that?
Begins to transform. The roar of the excavator and bulldozer engines is not a bothersome noise, but the voice of power and readiness. The excavator extends its giant bucket, scooping up the first massive carving out the foundation of trenches. For the workers, this sound is familiar. The work has truly begun. They call it protected ground, on the hard path joy in witnessing the transformation of the landscape. Wild, overgrown, the visible change, day by day, hour by hour. The joy of action, of turning potential energy into kinetic energy. The coordination between man and machine. Every engine roar, every sweep burn. Chopped and light, the one on the side. The product is a single individual. It is a collective work of art. Created by the harmonious of people with different specializations. The construction site thus becomes a giant orchestra, and the greatest joy here is the joy of being a musician, contributing to a harmonious language of the workers. Amidst the noise of machinery, words sometimes become unnecessary. Experienced construction workers
Tecnologia! Tecnologia!
nods and gestures and knowing glances. Observe attentivos für das The person below passes up. The person above only needs a glance to know where to receive it and to turn it. The work flows perfectly. Or watch a master mason teaching a young apprentice how to mix more. He just demonstrated. The energy of cement and water is measured by his experience, by the skill of his hands. The young apprentice watches and learns. A pat on the back from the master. The joy here is the joy of mutual understanding, of a synergy so
What's up?
they are comrades. The foundation, the steel frame teams, the formwork, the painting team, each has an irreplaceable role. The joy of collaboration also comes from electrician and running wires will be careful not to affect the silent conductor. The role of the conductor is indispensable. Ones who read the sheet music, blueprint, and coordinate the musicians to work. They are happy minutes finish and schedule. They are happy when they see the steel structure erected sturdily. They are happy when they see the different teams coordinating seamlessly. Their joy is the joy of witnessing the complex plan being realized smoothly in the field. They are the problem solvers, the connectors between departments. When there is a conflict between the when the weather is unfavorable, they are the ones to adjust the complex machine of hundreds of people operating smoothly under one coordination. Watching their orchestra play its most wonderful melodies. The strenuous working hours, the short breaks when joy reveals itself in its most genuine and warm form. And strengthen their camaraderie. 4.1. Perhaps the workers huddled around a pot of strong tea, hastily brewed on the sitting in stacks of bricks, they share stories from their everyday lives. The harvest season in their region, football match in the nightclub. Bursts of shares a cigarette with the person next to him. Another pours a hot cup of tea for a friend. All that remains is human connection, rustic and sincere. The joy here is the joy of sharing. They share not just food, but also the construction site is not just a workplace. It is a center. You look tired today. Are you okay? Or is everything all right at home? Have an incredible power to connect. These relationships make the hard work more bearable because they know they are not alone. Lunch on the construction site is often simple. They spread out an old tarp and sit together in a circle. Food to one another. My wife's braised fish is delicious today. Try a piece. My pickle head goes well with the rice.
Ressaltado o banco dele, ó. Yes!
Back and forth. Turn a humble meal into a feast of fellowship. They eat and talk animated. The sound of their laughter and chatter drowns out the distance. It comes from community, from the feeling of belonging to people. The meal is not just a meal. Despite life's hardships, they are still willing to share. These collective lunch breaks turning strangers in college into close friends and brothers. 4.3. The short but peaceful nap. After lunch, a precious few dozen minutes of napping. Their resting place could be anywhere, on a wooden bench, inside a large uninstalled concrete pipe, or simply under the peaceful sleep. The steady snoring of a friend nearby. Surprisingly serene scene in the midst of a hustle.
O no se te quitó la falla. Pero es que entonces si se te quitó la falla, ¿por qué vas a cuestionar mi capacidad intelectual para entender la electrónica de este tipo de vehículos que son táctiles? Yo te iba a cobrar.
Incredible adaptability of human beings. They know how to find moments of rest and relaxation to continue their work with renewed energy. These rests, though brief, are crucial to continue playing strongly and persistently. Chapter 5. The joy of collaboration comes from the relationship between people. There is a transforming raw elements into perfect products. 5. Januar His movements are as rhythmic as a dance. scoops. Using the handle of his trowel to tap it gently into place. Everything must be perfectly straight. For him, building a wall is not just his joy lies in creating a perfectly flat surface, a joint of mortar that is always after finishing the section. That wall to him is a masterpiece. It is a testament to his patience, his meticulousness, and the experience accumulated over decades. This joy is the joy of perfection, of pursuing precision down to the millimeter. It is the flow state, when the worker is immersed in his task, losing track of time and his surroundings. There is only him, the brick, and the desire. It is a pure joy, from the very essence of the work. Special connection with his material. Before starting, he will often stroke the surface of a wooden
معاكم اللورد الصخرة.
wood has its own personality, and the master carpenter is one who understands that personality. His joy comes from turning a rough
Tecnologia! Tecnologia!
gracefully forming staircase. The sound of the lane gliding smoothly, creating notices and sounds together without a single name. He converses with it. He respects every grain, trying to preserve its natural beauty while shaping it. And it aligns perfectly, opening and closing smoothly and silently. A moment of awareness. Dialogue between human hand and the soul of the wood. Welding machines fly like fireworks. The ironwork. He bends rigid steel into soft curves according to
And my shoes fell off.
separate pieces of iron into a solid plate. A beautiful weld for him must have good penetration, be even shiny and without gas. That is the standard. He conquers the hardness of metal using high voltage forces. Inanimate steel bars into the skeleton of the building, into an ornate balcony railing, with a sense of power and pride. He knows that his strength and longevity for the entire structure. He is the one who creates the and the joy of his 5.4. The unsung heroes, electricians and plumbers. The work of electricians and plumbers. Their joy is no less significant. It is the joy of bringing a building to life. The electrician runs complex wiring like a spider's web. He calculates, connects, and ensures everything is absolutely safe. Is when the project is complete. He puts the main circuit, the entire building lights up. The first time electrical light fills the newly built everyone will often let out a cheer of joy. Similarly, the plumber installs pipes and valves. His joy comes from turning the water. Every faucet in the building without a single leak. This joy is the joy of functioning. Bringing
Niemals!
they know that without them, the building
What? How we doing?
feeling of being the one who brings life is a quiet but immense pain. Chapter 6.
To holiday.
Conquering challenges.
And right now,
Joy in
you can save £50.
construction industry is not always smooth sailing. It is fraught with challenges. However, it is precisely in the process of facing and overcoming these difficulties that the construction site is an open space, completely exposed. Workers must constantly be in dialogue with the sun, the wind, and the rain. The joy of finding a shady corner to rest, the blissful feeling of a sudden cool.
Да, брат, действуй. Ой, я бы сказал, бля.
They don't have clothes, they adapt. They wear white hats. They also do a distinctive job under harsh weather brings a sense of pride in one's own endurance. When the rainy season comes, that is also when they show their flexibility. Instead of sitting idle, they switch to indoor tasks, covering materials, the joy now is the joy of being proactive, of making do with what one has. And a rainbow appears in the distance. That scene, for those who have just endured the oppressive heat, is a priceless gift from nature. The puzzle solvers on site. Reality does not always match the blueprint. An unexpected problem. At such times, the construction site when collective intelligence is brought to the forefront. The site manager, engineers, what if we reinforce the foundation in this area? We could reroute the plumbing system to avoid the obstacle. This batch of bricks is slightly oversized, with just the pieces of mortar units to compensate. Smart, effective solutions also affirms their competence and experience. Each challenge overcome is like untying the entire machine to run smoothly again. The workers are not just builders, they are inventors.
Oh shit, God!
The joy of completing a difficult phase. In every project, there are always phases that are considered the toughest to crack. It could be pouring massive concrete slabs in a single, continuous operation, requiring a coordinated team of dozens of It could be installing a complex steel structure at great heights, demanding absolute precision and safety. The process of carrying out these phases is always tense. Everyone is highly focused, sweat pouring down. The foreman constantly gives signals. The teams coordinate like a web, without typing the problem. For each person who is vital, each person is part of the connection. They are not just colleagues. Among trades. On a construction site, each team is an expert in its own. The formwork team, the masonry team, the electrical and plumbing team. Mutual respect among these different trades. The electrician. The painter will wait for the plaster layer from the masonry team to dry out. Concrete wall. There are brief but to run the pipes. Formwork. Let us know when you're done so our steel team can get to work. Because they understand that the quality of one person's work directly affects the next, the quality of the entire project. This joy is the joy of a micro-society, where every individual has perspective. It erases distinctions, creating an environment where the common goal is paramount. The feeling of trusting and being trusted creates a tremendous collective. The silent conductor. For this orchestra to perform perfectly, the supervising engineers, the site manager. They don't directly wield their joy is a comprehensive one. They are happy when they see the foundation. Structure erected sturdily. They are happy when they see the difference. Gradually being realized smoothly. They are the problem solvers.
A minha moto! Uau!
They are the ones who need it, finding the optimal solution. The sight of a complex machine sense of satisfaction. It is the joy of the leader, the guide, watching their orchestra play its most wonderful melodies. In the strenuous working hours, the short breaks are when joy reveals itself in its most genuine and warm form. These are the necessary rests in the noisy symphony of construction site, the time for everyone to recharge and strengthen their camaraderie. The most important is that the workers are working on a hot, strong tea, hastily brewed in an old aluminum.
Oh no. Oh no.
From their everyday lives. These stories are not always about work. They talk about their children at home, the harvest season in their hometown, the football match from the night before. Bursts of hearty laughter. Person next to them, another pours a hot cup of tea for a friend. In these moments, the distance between master craftsman and apprentice, between old and young, all that remains is human, rugged and sincere. The joy of sharing. They share not just tea and cigarettes, but also their thoughts and opinions. The construction site is not just a workplace, it is a second family. Simple, caring questions like, have an incredible power to connect. These relationships everyone bringing a lunchbox from home, but it is the best meal. The meal becomes a miniature buffet where everyone spontaneously offers food to one another. My wife's braised fish.
Tecnologia! Tecnologia!
My family made spring rolls yesterday. Have a few. Uncle, have some of my vegetables. Pieces of food passed back and forth. Turn a hungry meal into a feast of fellowship. Drowns out the distant hum of machinery. This joy comes from community, from the feeling of belonging to a group. The meal is not just to fill the stomach, it's to nourish the spirit. This sharing reveals a beautiful essence. Still willing to share what they have with each other. It is these close friends and others. 4.3. Short but peaceful nap. After lunch comes a precious few dozen minutes of nap. Their resting place could be anything, on a wooden plank inside a large unoccupied simply letting their heads connect. For nature, it is a peaceful sleep. Creates a surprisingly serene scene in the midst of the hustle. In that short sleep, they temporarily forget the sun, the wind, and the fatigue in their muscles. When they wake up, though perhaps still a bit groggy, their spirits are much refreshed. A big stretch. No matter the circumstances, they know how to find moments of rest and relaxation to continue their work with renewed energy. Chapter 5. Advance of skill and maturity. The joy of mastery. If the joy there is another, deeper and more personal joy that comes from the relationship between a worker and their craft. It is the joy of mastery, of commanding skills and materials, of transforming raw elements into
Operadorão doido, hein?
His movements are as rhythmic as a dance. His left hand scoops just the right amount of water, spreading it decisively. His right hand places the brick, using the handle of his trowel to tap it gently. He squints, sighting along the taut guide street. Everything must be perfectly straight. For him, building a wall is not just stacking blocks. It is an art form. A joint mortar that is flawlessly uniform. After finishing a section of wall, he steps back, admiring his work with a satisfied smile. That wall is a masterpiece. It is a testament to his patience, his maturity, and the experience accumulated over decades. This joy is the joy of perfection. Surroundings. There is only him, the brick, and the desire to a carpenter has a special connection with his material. Before starting, he will often